Hello everybody and welcome to episode 3 of season 2 of Shenaniderp FTB, specifically the Mindcrack mod pack season. Well, last episode I wanted to do something with a turtle, but I couldn't do it because I didn't have the turtle, nor did I have the diamonds to make a turtle. Well, I got my hands on the diamonds, and I made it clear out two chunks, so two 16 by 16 areas from ground level to bedrock, and I got exactly 0 diamonds. I got a lot of other stuff, like I got a little bit of coal to survive me. I've got enough of those Zycraft crystals that I had to put them somewhere else. But not a single diamond, so it might have just been really bad luck with those two chunks, or it might be that diamonds don't spawn in a wasteland. I don't know, so I thought up another trick, and since I'm actually recording the mic audio this time around, I will show how I did it. Actually did this entire thing before. I recorded this entire episode before, but I wasn't recording the mic at the time. My mic was off, so I have to do this all over again, which is not too much of a problem. Basically, two things I want to point out. I know in one of my previous learning with Chronos, specifically the one where I covered how to make the big machine of solar happiness, I said that putting two redstone engines like this together didn't work because when they synced up like they do when they're blinking red, it only pulls out one item at a time. Well, either that's been fixed or that was a glitch with the, what were those chests called? They weren't the alchemy chests, they were the condensers. Yeah, I think they were condensers. Yeah, either they were a glitch with the redstone engines, or they were a glitch with the condensers from EE. So that might be possible. Either way, if I take a stack of something like this cobblestone and throw it in here, it's pulling 2 at a time now in stacks of 2. So that actually works. But I had a problem. When you do this kind of thing, you get a lot of cobblestone. I mean, just the 16 by 16 area got me enough cobblestone to fill 3 barrels. And then I started just chucking the cobblestone because, I have 6 barrels full of cobblestone now? I don't need any more. So I figured, oh, well, I'll just throw them in a void pipe. Ah, there he is. He's coming this way. So I figured I'd throw the cobblestone in a void pipe, then I just wouldn't have to deal with it. But then it dawned on me, to get things into a void pipe, you have to make a diamond pipe, and I don't have any diamonds. So then I got this bright idea, which as you can see doesn't work. It actually works even less well than one would expect. I figured I'd at least get half of the stuff in the half of the wait, what the hell? When did it drop that stuff off? Anyways, now that there's stuff in here, I can show off how poorly this actually works. I figured, oh, well, half of the cobblestone will go into the barrel, but no. Actually, originally I thought, oh, well, all of the cobblestone will go into the barrel, but no, now it's working more often than not. But then it dawned on me, because I don't have diamond pipes here, they won't always go into the barrel. So I figure, oh, well, half is better than none. Well, it seems to be significantly less than half. And I've just had to manually take everything out of the chest and throw them in the barrels, so it kind of sucks. But, you know, it works. And now that he's finally in here... I mean, I haven't gotten any diamonds yet, but that's because I actually started at level 17. And I don't know if that means that this is level 17 or this is level 17. I don't know if it counts from my eyes or from my feet. So I don't know if I'm standing on level 16 or if I'm looking at level 17. I don't know how this works. So he might not find any diamonds this level either. But what I might be tempted to do, once he clears out this second level here, is run around and follow him with a fortune pick. That might work. And I hope he's got enough fuel. He had like 46,000 fuel. So, I hope that's enough to cover this. But basically what I told him to do is excavate 54. So he'll go 54 blocks that way and then 54 blocks that way to make a 54 by 54 block square. And the lava shouldn't be a problem. It would be a problem for me. I guess I'm not following him around. But as long as he doesn't run out of fuel, it shouldn't be a problem for him. I should probably do something about that, or it's just going to fill this entire area. Huh. Yeah, I'm thinking of all kinds of problems that are coming with this right now. Anyways, yeah, so he's doing a 50... Oh. That's another problem. Great, Bobs. Yay. Anyways, he's doing 54 by 54. Hopefully he has enough fuel for that. Hopefully he finds lots of diamonds, because I need diamonds, so I can make diamond pipes, another turtle. I would make a quarry, but I just found out that you need a diamond drill to make a quarry, and to make a diamond drill, you need titanium. And I have no idea how to make titanium. I haven't looked it up yet. And I definitely don't have any titanium right now. So that's not going to work very well. So yeah. The reason I didn't go farther than 54 blocks that way is because from that point right there, 54 blocks out is actually where the chunk loader stops loading chunks. So that's why he's only going 54 by 54. That's as far as the chunk loader will let me go. So that's enough. Another thing I want to do today is show off my code for this guy. This is my attack turtle that I showed off in the last episode. Basically, a mob falls in here. This thing attacks it automatically, kills it, grabs everything that the mob dropped, and throws it in this chest right here. And as we can see, it does throw the famous drops. The one thing it has not thrown in the chest is a head. So, yeah. I don't know what that means exactly. I guess it could mean one of two things. It could mean that heads don't drop naturally. You have to have a specific enchant on your sword to get them to drop. Or, it just won't drop with a turtle, which is a possibility. I don't know. Yeah. But I wanted to show off the coding because I think I finally got it tweaked enough that it actually looks pretty and works the way I want it to do. Because right now we can see that we have the number of kills this turtle has counting up. This is obviously horribly inaccurate because I can't figure out how to make a variable roll over from the first time the program runs into future runnings of the program. So right now we can see every time something dies, this number goes up. And I can show off that code. And startup. And the startup file is the file that runs every time the turtle starts. Which, hang on 1 second. Okay, that's annoying. Okay, so this is my code. It's not long. It might qualify as a little complicated, but it's, well, I think it's clean. I'm not much of a coder. Anyways, so basically we start out by declaring a local variable. Now this is going to be what's counting the number of kills. And I just named it Q because, well, I named it Q. I don't know why. And we just set Q to equal 0. And then we start the part of the program that repeats. Now everything else repeats the whole way down until this until, which I'll get to at the end of the code. So everything else repeats except setting the local variable. You don't set your local variable inside of a repeat, because if you did, it would keep resetting the local variable to 0. Or just straight up break the program. I don't know. I just know you always declare your variables first, unless you're declaring variables inside of functions, which is different, but I'm not a coder. I'll get into that maybe some other time if I ever get into coding. So we start to repeat, and then I set up an if statement. And basically it says if the turtle.attack returns true, then it does the rest of this, which turtle.attack is actually the code in Lua to make the turtle attack what's in front of it. And then that function will return either a true or a false, what's called a Boolean answer. And if the turtle tries to attack but it can't attack, it returns false. But if it does attack, it returns true. So if the turtle attacks something, actually attacks something, then it will start this chunk of code, which we start with clearing the screen. And we have to do this, because if we don't clear the screen, the numbers will just build up onto each other. We'll just have row after row after row after row after row of numbers, and it won't look pretty. It'll look cluttered and messy. So we clear the screen, then we set the cursor to position 1, 1, which is that one right there. So basically it's resetting the cursor to the very, very beginning. So we clear the screen of any text that's on there, and then we set the cursor back to the beginning. So it's basically resetting everything to blank. Then we take Q, the variable we declared before, and set it to equal Q plus 1. Now this is coding logic for basically adding 1 to the number that Q represents. So right now Q will equal Q, or 0, plus 1. So Q will equal 1. And then the next loop around, Q will equal 1 plus 1, or 2, and in that case Q will equal 2. And so on and so forth. Then we print out Q, which in the first iteration will just print out a number 1. Then we will print out had to die, which is just a string, just text that I typed in because I couldn't think of anything better to type in. And then we start on what's called a for loop. And this loop right here is the loop that empties out the inventory of the turtle. So in the for loop, we declare I equals 1. So we're creating a variable called I that equals 1. And then we say 16, comma 16, which says that for every loop, I will increase by 1. So the first time it runs, it'll be 1. The second time it'll run, it'll be 2. All the way up until it does it for the 16th iteration. So this will do this for loop 16 times total. So for I equals 1, then 16, do, then we select, we do the turtle.select I, which means that it will select the inventory slot that is represented, in this case, by I, or the first iteration will be 1, so turtle.select 1, which will be this one here. Second iteration will be turtle.select 2, which will be this one here, so on and so forth until we get down to 16, which is the last one. So it'll do turtle.select I and then turtle.drop down, which is the command to drop the item that's in the selected inventory slot down, and in this case into this iron chest here. And then we end the loop. So it'll do this loop 16 times and then move on in the code. And then we end here, which is the end of this if statement, which I don't have indented properly. That's not good coding etiquette, but it won't hurt to code. And then we sleep. os.sleep is basically, it pauses for a specific set number of time, and that's in the parentheses here. I just have it set to sleep for 1 second. And that's to help eliminate any kind of rapid thing that can eat up processor speed. I'm trying to lower as much processor speed as physically possible. So it'll do os.sleep for 1 second before it repeats. And then this until here is actually the end of the repeat here. So you see how we have an if statement that ends at this end here. We have this for loop that ends at this end here. The repeat loop ends at the until. So until 1 equals 2. And since 1 will never equal 2, this will repeat until the heat death of the universe, or until the death of the server, which is far more likely. And what you might be confused about is why I'm using 1 equals here, 1 equals here, but there are 2 equals here. Well, 1 equal is basically saying we're setting a variable to a value. So I equals 1, so I becomes 1. Q equals Q plus 1, so Q becomes whatever the value of Q plus 1 comes to. Whereas equals equals is a comparative thing. It's comparing one side to the other. So if this side equals that side, the outcome becomes true, and then the repeat loop ends. But of course, since I just have until 1 equals 2, it will never end because 1 will never equal 2 in the computer. So basically what you would have to do is set a variable. Let's say up here we use the Q variable that we already set up. Q right now equals 0, and for every time the turtle attacks, it adds 1 to Q, so it will increment 1 time for every attack. So if we want this repeat loop to actually end at some point, what we could do is change this 1 to Q, because Q is the variable we're looking for. This I actually doesn't exist outside of this for loop, so I won't actually return anything. But while so we set until Q equals and then some high number like 2000. So this entire repeat will happen 2,000 times. It will attack 2,000 times and then end. So if you're really worried about processor performance, you can do that. You can set a variable to 2,000, or set it that it will run a specific number of times and then stop. I don't have that, so I just have it set to 1 equals 2, so it'll just run for as long as I feel like having it run until I forcefully end it, which is the Control-T command. So let's save this. Oh, well, I didn't need to save it because we didn't change anything. We exit this, and then we can either run it by rebooting the turtle or just running start up. And then basically it will count how many times it attacks. And we can see things are dying and it's counting up. Now, this has one flaw. And that flaw is that this is not based on how many mobs die. It's based on how many times the turtle attacks. So right now it's fine because the zombies are one-hit kills, the skeletons are one-hit kills. But if we get something that's not a one-hit kill, like, say, a skeleton drops down in full gold armor, it takes 2 shots to kill them. So when this thing counts, it increments twice for 1 skeleton. So it's not 100% accurate, but it's as close as I know how to get to. I don't know how to tell it that when it kills something, it needs to stop counting, or it needs to count and not just when it attacks. I don't know if the turtle can do that. I mean, if you guys know how to do that, let me know in the comments. I'll be overly thrilled. And if you want, I can put the code up somewhere. I don't know where. Is Pastebin permanent, or does it expire? Like, if I throw something up on Pastebin, will it just stay there? Or does it eventually just get deleted in some form of cleanup of old things? I don't know how Pastebin works. But this definitely has an advantage, because basically I could just sit here, go AFK, feed the animals, get something to eat, go grocery shopping, watch TV, whatever, and then just let myself gain levels and armor and bows and arrows and bones and stuff like that, while I'm really not here. It's completely out. There, we saw that guy. That was a leather-covered skeleton that took 2 shots. So that didn't count as 1 kill. That counted as 2. So mild flaw in the programming. But there's definitely an advantage, and I'm going to punch these guys so I can clean these out a little bit faster. The reason there are so many is because I sat there and explained it to you, explained the code to you. So that's why there are so many zombies here right now. But that's okay. If you just let the turtle do its thing, it will eventually clean up the mess. So it won't be actually a problem at all. Whew, there's a lot of zombies here. You won't get this build up with this code. There's enough... There's enough attacks that they won't build up. Well, okay, I guess in this setup with 2 zombie spawners over there and a skelly spawner over there, I guess it's possible if I added like a second skelly spawner or maybe a 3rd zombie spawner, it might be a problem. But all I would really have to do is eliminate that sleep function to get rid of the problem, or at least lower it. So, shouldn't be too much of a problem. Whee! But yeah, I mean, it works pretty quick. It's not nearly as quick as an Enderman grinder, but it works, and I'm happy. And what I want to do is repair one of my swords that I like a lot, because I don't want to lose it. Even though I could probably just enchant something, another sword, and I'll probably get that enchant again. It's not exactly rare. I've already had like 3 swords with it. But you know what? I want to keep it. Oh hey, while I'm here, let's go to options. Let's turn back on our sound since there aren't hundreds of zombies there anymore. Sapphire sword. Whee! Then we go back to the anvil. I need to make like a straight up workshop again. Yeah. Okay. So let's get it out of our canvas bag. This is my sword that I want to keep. Okay, I've figured out what a lot of these new enchants do. Like the disjunction is actually good against Endermen, which I want to keep because I want to go Enderman hunting because I want to go to the end at some point soon. Vorpal is actually for getting heads. So those things there. So yeah. I mean, it's just great setup. I can just sit here and go AFK and then, you know, repair my armor that I want to keep and rename things and all that fun stuff. So I'm going to rename this sword since it's basically what I use to get heads. So I'm going to say, give me some head. Yay! I got me my sword back. So let's turn you off for a moment. Oh sure, he gives me a bow, he doesn't give me a head. Come on. Come on, guys. I know you're up there. I can hear you. Oh, I can't wait till I get to the end. I can just make an ender farm. Or something, anything. Make things easy. Okay, that guy dropped a head, so yes. You can easily get heads. I mean, that took 4. So I don't know the exact numbers of how easy it is or anything like that. Yeah. What I am thinking about doing, I'm still just working on it, is putting like a pressure plate here. And I'm thinking it might just do it easily, where if you stand on the pressure plate, this block slides into place and lets things land on it, but when you step off, that slides back, revealing a giant hole, like a really, really, really deep hole, and anything that falls in it just dies instantly. So that guy doesn't just keep going. So basically you just have to stand here and go AFK while you're standing on the button. And then when you let off, everything just falls to its death. Or what I was thinking is this pressure plate actually activates lights in the spawners. Well, technically deactivates. I'd have an invert somewhere in there. So basically you stand here and lights in the spawners turn off, allowing mobs to spawn, whereas you step off the pressure plate, the lights turn on, stopping the mobs from spawning. And of course I'd be doing that with red power, just because, you know, red power's way easier. Yeah. So, I'm having some fun stuff. Let's go see how fast, or if the turtle has really gotten anywhere. Long way down. I'm up on level 64, and I'm going the whole way down to 17, so pretty far down. Whoa. Lots of mobs, lots of mobs. And yes, this sword works with creepers as well, so you can get creeper heads. In fact, I have a bunch of them. Crap, crap. Ah! Okay, that doesn't work so well when you only have 2 levels to... You can't throw them. Does this have knockback too? No. That one had knockback. I would like to combine them, just to get the knockback on here, but it won't let me. It's too expensive. Oh, that's a hole in the ground. But hey, fun stuff. I wonder if that water will take care of the lava problem. Probably not. Alrighty, so I think that was a relatively productive day. I didn't get all that I wanted, but I got a lot. And I still have 18 levels to work with. I can enchant new stuff. One of the next things I'm going to be doing is my bow here, Power 4 Punch 2. There is a flame bow, a flame 1 right now bow, in the chest with the skeleton with the spawner grinder thingamabobber. I'm going to combine that with my bow, so it does power forward punch to flame whatever I can get my hands on. I'm hoping for it to drop another flame bow, so I can combine it and make flame 2. If that exists. I think it does. I don't know all the enchants. But yeah, fun stuff. So I'm going to end this episode here because we just reached the 30-minute mark and my throat's starting to hurt after the second time that I've done this particular video. So I'm going to wish you all a good day and say, as always, keep playing the game and have fun. Now I'm off to go find Enderman.